Welcome to the Two Girls and Grandpa Blair's YouTube channel. On this YouTube channel, we'll teach you things like hunting, camping, survival skills, and how to make axes and things like that.
So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be fleshing sheep skin and tanning them.
First, we're going to take this sheep hide that I got yesterday from a local butcher, and the girls are going to start fleshing it. What they do on fleshing is they take their knife and carefully take off this meat membrane and the fat. Come on, girls.
What's next? You want to see us?
Any knife that you feel comfortable with. But you have to do it careful so that you don't cut the skin. So you pick it up and you just work along underneath it, pulling that as you go, and don't do it too quick so you cut yourself or the hide.
Where do you want us to put it?
These mats are going to be for them to sleep on up the canyon or wherever. They'll lay them down with the hide side in and the wool out, so that it keeps them warm in the winter. And the girls asked me if I would help teach them how to do some of these things, because their cousins and their dads and uncles were taught how to do them. So into this. But I think it will be a good adventure for everyone. And today I am also giving Paige and Mackenzie each an old hickory knife that they're going to get used to them, and later we're going to reshape the blades if they want and make handles and make them some sheaths out of them in other classes. This is an old hickory from years ago, but it's just a paring knife type. I've used it for years, and they always stay sharp, and it only takes minimal work to get them sharpened up. Any questions, ladies?
Am I doing this right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
So we don't take that off.
Yes. Any membrane, clear down.
Okay.
So what do you do if you do make a hole?
Well, if it was a cape or something for tanning or mounting, we would tan it up and then sew it.
Okay.
Since it's not for that, what are we going to do?
I'm not going to worry about it. You're just going to use it to sleep on. Or as like a shawl or jacket to put around you if you're ever cold. This is not something that we're going to make special so you can take it in the house and lay around, but these lessons would also be good for somebody that is a prepper, somebody that has their own livestock, or just somebody that goes hunting and kills animals for meat. They can actually take the hide and process it and do something with it, instead of just throwing it over the fence and letting the bugs get it. And all you have to do is some basic chemicals that you can get locally. Okay, shut up. You got it? Okay. So right now we're just continuing to flesh out the hide, trying to get all the membrane we can off from it. Now, girls, what were you saying earlier about this hide?
I thought it was going to be really gross, but it's not as gross as I thought.
Yeah, it's not that gross. It's actually kind of fun.
It's kind of weird, but it's not gross.
Now, you're both how old?
14.
14.
And you've both hunted deer before.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that's kind of a tradition in our family, right?
Yes. Okay, so Grandpa was telling us that if you get too close to the membrane, if you get down too low, that you'll make holes. But that's all right for us because we're just making a bedding. It doesn't really matter. But
So once we get most of the membrane off, we will start to tan it.
How are we doing, girls?
good.
You about ready to put it in the acid can?
You think that's good?
Let's finish this one little spot. Get the worst of it. And once we start the tan in a day, then okay, it's ready, so we'll get ready and mix up the tanning solution.
Okay. Okay, so we just barely started, and this is how much we've already gotten off of it. So depending on what you hide, you're gonna have a lot what you take off.
Okay, girls, what we do is we get hydrochloric acid, or sulfuric acid, excuse me. Hydrochloric is what we use when we're buffering if we're taking the hair off the hide. But to tan the hide, we use sulfuric acid. And what I've done is I went down to our local Ace Hardware store in Payson, Utah, where they've got some of the most friendly, service-oriented people in the business. I bought the acid from them, and I also bought the WD-40, which we're going to use. First, we take 1 ounce per gallon of the sulfuric acid, and I've got approximately 1 gallon. Now this mix is not science, rocket science, so we'll go with about 4 gallon on that. And then we use Redmond's real salt, or if you're interested, you can go on Redmond Trading in Heber, Utah. And they also have other products like what I call the healing clay, which we use for burns and for taking infection. So what we need is approximately 1 pound of salt per gallon. So since it's 4 gallon, we're using 4 pounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we stir that up good to get the salt and the acid going. That mixed up gives it kind of a cloudy, bubbly white color. And we mix that with the tanning solution we made yesterday. Now we take this hide, this chemical will also take the blood and the other things that are soaked in the hide, and I'll let Mackenzie push this down in. And you make sure you get all the hide down in the chemicals so that it all tans equally. What you need to do also is remember to keep your knives good and sharp. For the touch-up and sometimes the final edge, I'll just use a bastard file and just hit it both sides. That will sharpen them right up. If I have a real hard blade, like a buck knife or a case, they don't sharpen as easily, so you have to use a stone on them.
So we put our other hide into the solution, Grandpa's solution. And And now we're going to work on this one.
This hide has been in overnight. If you notice, the color is a lot whiter and the meaty membrane is coming off because it's swelled, and it's coming off about the same, but we'll get the worst of it and then we'll put it back in the tan for a couple more days, and then we'll pull it out and use another machine that we've got to do the final prep. And at that time is when we start using the WD-40 after we get it cleaned off to help start curing the leather and keep it soft while we start stretching it. With this tanning solution, this acid tan, there is a sulfury smell with it right now, but it's not unbearable, is it, girls?
Yeah, it's not too bad.
I can't even smell it.
If you have cuts in your fingers and that, the salts and the acid will kind of make it sting a little bit. But,
That's why we're wearing gloves.
you know, girls got to wear gloves anyway. They don't like touching icky stuff.
Gross. So we finished with this for now. So we're gonna take it. Oh, so as you can see, we used a barrel or just anything round. It makes it a lot easier.
So we'll be back next week to show you guys the final product and the final process. So ladies, women, boys, men, everyone, I hope you can follow us on this journey and learn lots of stuff that Grandpa's going to teach us. Like and subscribe.